Steelers fans, we have breaking news here on Steelers Talk. The Steelers have cut cornerback William Jackson III. I'm going to be breaking down all the details, what this means for the Steelers and the free agency period to come. But before we get into today's action, this is why you subscribe to the channel right here, guys. We're going to have breaking news coverage for the Pittsburgh Steelers all offseason long. NFL free agency starts next week, so if there's more cuts that happen, if they make a signing, if they make a trade, if they get a restructure, we're going to have you covered here on the channel, so make sure that you are subscribed and turn on notifications so you always get updated when Steelers news hits this offseason. All right, so now let's dive into this. We knew this was coming, right? I've talked about it twice on the show where there was reports that have come out that the Steelers are going to release William Jackson III. Today, they are making it official. They are releasing William Jackson III after they traded for him. He came from the Washington Commanders. They traded for him, and he didn't play for the Steelers at all. The stats that he did have in 2022 were all with the Washington Commanders. Once he was traded, he had a lingering back issue, practiced in a limited fashion a couple of times for the Steelers, but never hit the field in the regular season. And right now, with him off the roster, this is what the cornerback situation looks like for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. Cam Sutton is hitting free agency. Will they use this money that they get from free agency? We'll get into that in a second to re-sign Cam Sutton, their nickelback and their cornerback one. Ahkello Witherspoon coming back off of the hamstring injury, not as good of a season as he's used to having last year. Some people want him to be cut, and then Levi Wallace had some ups and downs this year, let's call them, but he was pretty solid towards the end of the year. And then you look at the guys on the bench. Maulet's okay. James Pierre's a restricted free agent. This is a cornerback room that needs some major retooling, and it all starts with getting rid of William Jackson III. So let me know in the comment section right now, what's your one-word reaction to this move? This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here on the video, go ahead, go into the comment section, find that pinned comment, and answer today's question. All right, so now with this, the Steelers save $12.17 million in cap space for the 2023 season, which is obviously significant because the Steelers were over the cap. They needed to get under that limit there before the start of the new league year next week. With this move, they clear that mark by a ton. They are good to go. It'll be interesting to see if they make more cuts moving forward, however. And my one-word reaction, you guys gave me your one-word reaction just a second ago. My one-word reaction to this news is we knew this was coming. I mean, that's more than one word, but we knew this was coming, guys. This was something that was in the works for a long time. This is something that's been reported on extensively over the last couple of weeks. Now we're just breaking the news officially. So now let's move on to some of the options for how the Steelers can use this money to revamp their cornerback room. These are the top free agents, the NFL free agents at the cornerback position. NFL free agency starts next week. Could the Steelers bring in somebody like a James Bradberry or a Jamel Dean, somebody that's going to be pretty darn expensive, but is somebody that can really be considered a true cornerback one in this league? Patrick Peterson, probably not going to come to the Steelers, in my opinion, although I think it would be a good fit. Byron Murphy from the Cardinals, another good player. Jonathan Jones, the speedster, is going to be hitting the market as well. Marcus Peters has been rumored to the Steelers by a number of sources. I don't want Marcus Peters, but there have been reports on that. Emmanuel Mosley from the 49ers, Sean Murphy-Bunting from the Buccaneers, and Rock Ya-Sin, another guy that has been reported to the Steelers. I actually think he would be a pretty darn good fit. So it'll be interesting to see if any of these guys come to the Steelers here in free agency. And then in the draft, they might be looking to get a corner pretty darn early. And you guys have heard me talk about these guys for a long time now. These are my top 5 right now in the process. Christian Gonzalez is my number 1 corner in this draft class, all right? I'm pretty sure he's not going to make it to the Steelers because I think he's going to be a top 10 pick, and I don't think the Steelers are going to want to trade up for a corner to replace William Jackson III. Then you got Devin Witherspoon, probably the best tape out of anybody in this draft class. He's a little bit slender, which is why Christian Gonzalez gets the nod for my cornerback 1 in this class. Christian Gonzalez is a bit more complete of a prospect than Witherspoon is right now, but I think Witherspoon is right there player with him. Definite top 15 prospect for me. If he falls to the Steelers should absolutely consider taking him to replace William Jackson III. And then you got Deonte Banks, who I actually have as my number 3 corner right now, which might surprise some people because a couple weeks ago, he was projected to be a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. He wasn't really a full-time starter at Maryland. Maryland kind of didn't use him correctly. They kind of rotated him in, but he's one of the best press man corners in this year's draft. He's nasty. He's aggressive. He's got the mentality that you look for in a number 1 cornerback in the National Football League, and then he is a physical freak, as he showed at the NFL Combine. He absolutely dominated the testing and all that stuff. He's going to be a fantastic player. I have him above Joey Porter Jr. Now, that might piss some of you guys off because I know how much of you love Joey Porter Jr., and I love Joey Porter Jr. as well. He's a great prospect. He's a first-round prospect, but he's not the most fluid athlete. He doesn't flip his hips as well as some of the other guys do. No, he's got extremely long arms. He's incredibly strong. You cannot block this guy in the run game. This guy's going to be a really good player in the league, but he's not quite as polished as some of the other guys in this draft class, in my opinion. So if it were up to me, if those 4 guys were on the draft board for the Steelers, Gonzalez, Witherspoon, Banks, and Porter wouldn't be my first choice. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there, he is that number 1 choice for you. To me, he's not. I think that he's a really good player. I think there's a real chance the Steelers take him because I think Gonzalez and Witherspoon will be off the board. They did meet with him in Indianapolis, and Joey Porter Jr. is the type of guy that Mike Tomlin likes. He's long. He's very, very fast. He grew up with his family in Pittsburgh because his dad was playing for the Steelers. Like, it makes sense why the Steelers would go get Joey Porter Jr. There's a reason why Mel Kiper Jr. has had the Steelers take him twice now in his first 2 mock drafts of this season. But personally, I like Gonzalez, Witherspoon, and Banks before I like Porter Jr. And then 5th on my list, we talked about Emmanuel Forbes a lot on the show here because I think he's a great fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that with TJ Watt, with Alex Highsmith, with Cam Hayward, you have a great pass rush along that defensive line. You need corners that are ball hawks, guys that can go get the football, that play with great instincts. Now, Emmanuel Forbes, he weighs the same as me, 166 pounds. I'm a YouTube host talking about football here on YouTube. This guy's trying to play in the National Football League, okay? That's a serious concern. I get that. But he's a great fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers because that defensive line and that pass rush, they force mistakes to opposing quarterbacks, and Emmanuel Forbes is the type of guy that had 6 picks last year at Mississippi State, which was tied for 3rd in the country. This guy is a fantastic ball-hawking type of cornerback. He plays with great man coverage instincts and zone as well. This guy is a baller, and to me, if he fell to the 2nd round, the Steelers should absolutely scoop him up. All right, so guys, go in the comment section right now and tell me, who is your guy in this year's NFL free agency period, this free agency class? Who's the free agent that you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to go get? Let me know in the comment section right now. It could be any position, doesn't have to be cornerback. Let me know right now in the comment section. That'll be it for this breaking news video, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.